God shall inherit the earth. And when he gets to Zion, he shall dwell in her. He shall choose his inheritance. Jacob, whom he loved. Sing praises, sing praises, sing praises, sing praises. He reigneth forevermore. Clap your hands. Shout it out.
And I want to say to the rest of the people that are watching on live on the internet, it is good to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day. I'm looking at the crowd. Look like we got some people that are afraid to come out in the rain. So, boy, what's going to happen when it's time to flee and it's raining? I'm not even going to give you a call. When you know about it, the guy going to be shutting off all borders, and you have missed the boat. You're going to be like one of them, like one of them versions that didn't have no oil. It's going to be too late because you're used to being late or not showing up. But I tell you, sisters and brothers, what we're doing is this is no game that we playing. Sometimes I look at people when they deal with the Word of God, you think that they don't understand that this is serious business. Serious business. And I tell you, the rest of the world know it's serious business because the rest of the world weighs into the Israel of God. You'd be surprised at the people that call in here and people that want to try and get something going on. In fact, I talked to the brothers and sisters in Guyana, and we might be working on something to get something going on now. Because people want to know. The people here have a great opportunity and a great, because you can go, you have a place to come and have your feast. You have a place to come and serve your God. But you got people in other places don't have this. The only church they have is some watch the short programs on television, or either they tune in on the internet. But you have some place to go every Sabbath day. And a whole lot of people, I have to talk to them sometime because they be concerned, well, I'm way away and I'm on my computer. And the Bible says we're supposed to have a holy convocation. That's where the Lord knows your position. And as long as you tie in every week on this computer, you're having a holy convocation with us. That's why it is so important for us to have everything here. Because the funny thing, sisters and brothers, people have everything, and the Lord has blessed them more than they think, and they're the worst ones that to get along with. Do you understand? Serving God and having this place is not a right here. This is a blessing and a privilege. And we need to understand that. Because sometimes we get complacent and we get into ourselves and we have a problem. But I'm going to get on with the lesson, sisters and brothers. I had some people tell me, when I remember when I first put this lesson together, oh, brother, that lesson is, that's kind of got a little hatred in it. I said, what's wrong with information? It's a funny thing. I see the Italian, he said, I'm an Italian. Everybody, that's good. Nice to know that. The Frenchman, I'm a Frenchman. Good, nice to know that. The German, I'm a German. Good, nice to know that. And then I said, well, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Oh, you prejudiced. Wait a minute. The duck can own up to what he is in the goose and the turkey. But when the chicken come in, so I'm a chicken, you want to kick him out the barnyard. This lesson, sisters and brothers, is to inform you how one brother replaced another brother. That's why it's titled Israel, replaced by his brother Esau. And this is one thing a lot of us don't understand. When you start talking about people that are closer, family-wise, you identify with the one that's called Africa and the Hamite, but don't you know the closest one to you is this one that calls himself a Jew? He is your twin brother. And whatever the issues have that's with him, that's between him and God, not me and him. You understand? But people need to know how things are. And the Lord had it written so we can show you how that we was replaced by our twin brother. And we're going to start this, sisters and brothers, with the birth of these two sons, Esau and Jacob. So we're going to start in Genesis, the 25th chapter. Because we seem to hate knowledge as a people, sisters and brothers. But I'm going to tell you something. Everything was founded on knowledge. By his knowledge, God created everything that's created. If he had no knowledge, then he couldn't do nothing. Even God. Knowledge is the foundation of all things, sisters and brothers. And to have knowledge of oneself and who everybody else is a blessing. Because a lot of people don't know. Like you ask the average person anywhere in the world, what's a Jew? Oh, Jew is a non-believer. Or either, I'm not Jew, I mean, what's a Gentile? A non-believer. Or either he's non-Jew. That is so far from the truth. Because when Jesus had a Gentile, he said that he didn't find the faith of that guy, he didn't have to find that kind of faith in Israel. It don't matter where you come from. It's what you believe, sisters and brothers. But also, sooner or later, somebody need to know about things. So we're going to find out how we was replaced by our brother. We're going to start this in Genesis, the 25th chapter, and verse 19. 25 and verse 19. Okay, go ahead.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife.
Go ahead.
The daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Now, Rebekah was barren, so the Lord prayed to the Lord, and Isaac prayed to the Lord, and the Lord heard him. So she conceived. Go ahead and read.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Now, when she had twins, then they were struggling, fighting in the womb, sisters and brothers. And she wanted to ask the Lord, why is this happening? Go ahead and read.
And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
He said, 2 nations are in your womb. Go ahead and read.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
And 2 manner, that's 2 different manners of people shall be separated at your bowels, sisters and brothers. And the Lord letting you know, these 2 together is a struggle. Even before they was born. And the Lord said, I'm going to separate them when they're born, I'm going to separate them. Go ahead and read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the elder shall serve the younger.
So it's telling you that the one going to be stronger, and the oldest brother going to serve the younger brother. That did in the beginning, and it's most likely it will again. But then that's another lesson. Go ahead and read.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Go ahead.
And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
That is Esau. He's the eldest son. He's red and hairy, sisters and brothers. But when it come to Rachel, Jacob, it didn't say nothing about him. Go ahead and read.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob.
Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Now, these are 2 brothers. Different colors, sisters and brothers. One red and hairy, and the other one looked like us. Looked like me anyway. Go ahead and read.
And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Go ahead.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Isaac.
Ain't that something? But Rebekah loved Jacob. Ain't that something? He loved Esau because he ate his deer meat. That's some reason to love a son, ain't it? But go ahead and read.
And Jacob sighed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee,
Go ahead.
with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
That's why he got called Edom, because he wanted something to eat. So he come in faint. One day, feed me. And what happened? Go ahead and read.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Look, this man went one day without eating. One day. And he said he's at the point to die. And he sold his birthright. One day. Moses fasted for 40, didn't he? Go ahead.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
Ain't that something? Now he sold it. Jacob didn't take it from him by force, didn't he? But go ahead and read.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
So he despised his birthright. He sold his birthright for a meal, sisters and brothers. Whole lot come with that birthright, sisters and brothers, because the blessing come with the birthright. Now he sold his birthright. You have a whole lot of people right now running around talking about Jacob stole his birthright. Don't it look like he sold it there? Now let's go and see what happened when it's time to get the blessing, which brings about the birthright. Let's go into Genesis, the 27th chapter. Genesis 27. And remember, the Lord is the one that orchestrated this thing, because he told Rebekah that she's going to have 2 sons, and the elder shall serve the younger.
That's right.
And one going to be stronger than the other. So the Lord already set the precedent. He know what he wanted to do with these 2 boys, with these twins. And Rebekah knew because God told her. Go ahead and read. 27 and 1. 27 and 1. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I.
Now you think it was a coincidence that Isaac couldn't see? The Lord did that because he knew he had to do something here. So that let you know ain't no coincidence, we just think it. Go ahead and read. So when he called his eldest son Esau, he said, here am I. Go ahead and read.
And he said, behold now, I am old. I know not the day of my death.
Go ahead.
Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. And make me savory meat such as I love.
Go ahead.
And bring it to me that I may eat. That my soul may bless thee before I die.
Go, ain't that something? I mean, you had to go kill him a deer and fix it for him in order to get this blessing. Look like Isaac was in the business of selling too, wasn't he? But anyway, we ain't going to elaborate on that. Go ahead and read.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it.
Go ahead.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison and make me savory meat that I may eat. And bless thee before the Lord before my death.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats. And I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
Now, it's not what you do now. I heard your father sent your oldest brother to get some deer and fix it. So I want you to go to the flock and get me a couple of young tender calves there and bring them to me. Go ahead and read.
And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
Now, I guess the 2 little kids of goat, not calf. I guess goat must taste like deer, huh? But anyway, bring him to your father that he might eat, and that he might bless you before his death. Now, after some argument, Jacob went and did it because Jacob was scared, but his mama had to tell him, look, let the curse be on me. So skip down to verse 14. Verse 14 and go ahead.
And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meats such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son.
Yeah, she knew that, look, maybe Isaac couldn't see, but he can smell. So she got Esau's jacket and put it on him, because she knew he was going to put the smell test on him. Go ahead and read.
And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck.
And she know that he was going to touch him and rub him, because Esau was a hairy man and Jacob wasn't. So Rebekah was on top of it. On this woman thought of everything. Go ahead and read.
Verse 17.
Skip down to verse 19. Verse 19 and go ahead.
And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn.
Go ahead.
I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
He said, now this guy got to lie to get something he already bought. Skip down to verse 21 and go ahead.
And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
Go ahead.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
See, so now his wife knew he would make that decision, come to that conclusion. Look, this is Jacob's talking here. This is his voice. But being he said, I'm Esau, he said, come near, let me feel you. So he felt him and felt all that hair. He said, so you sound like your brother, but this is you. But that was Jacob. Go ahead and read.
And Jacob went near unto his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Go ahead.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him.
So now, Jacob got past the smell test. We could have shown you that. And he got past the feeling test. So now he said, yep, this is Esau, all right. So he blessed him. Skip down to verse 30. Verse 30, and go ahead.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
So as soon as he got through, Jacob barely got out of the room, here come Esau. That's the difference in not having domestic cattle and you have to go out and kill something. So soon as he left, here come Esau. And Esau wanted a blessing. Skip down to verse 32 and go ahead.
And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
And he wanted to know, who are you? You know, I just got through blessing somebody. Go ahead and read.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken the venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
So when you give the blessing, you can't take it back. So I done blessed him, and so he shall be blessed. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it. Skip down to verse 41. Verse 41 and go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So
he hated Jacob for that. And the hatred is still there, sisters and brothers. And he said, the days of my father, is close to die. When he died, I'm going to kill Jacob. Go ahead and read.
And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran.
So he's going to send him out of the country. Go ahead and read.
And tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away.
Now, and I want you to stay down there for a few days until your brother done cool off. But in the meantime, Jacob stayed down there for 20 years, sisters and brothers. And when he came back with the family, and he came back with a new name because the Lord met him when he was going down there and changed his name to Israel. And he came back with a family and a new name. And over the process of time, sisters and brothers, Jacob ended up in Egypt. Because you know the story about this brother sold Jacob's son, Joseph, into Egypt. And then eventually Joseph became the leader of Egypt, the second ruler in Egypt. Then when the Lord brought a drought on the land, then the Lord had Joseph to send for his whole family and bring them down into Egypt, sisters and brothers. So just to give you a quick background on this. So now, when Jacob came back, he became a nation, and he went out into Egypt, and that's when he grew into a nation, sisters and brothers. But still, he was Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, and Esau was still Esau. Wasn't no change made there. Right. So we're going to pick this up in Egypt now. Let's go into Exodus, the first chapter. Exodus chapter 1. And we're going to start reading at verse 1. Because they was down in Egypt for 430 years, sisters and brothers. And what happened was the Egyptians started to treat Israel bad because Israel have a bad habit, and I see that haven't been broken yet. We have babies like rabbits. And that scared the Egyptians to death. Verse 1, go ahead and read.
Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob.
Go ahead.
Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already.
So now 70 souls came through Jacob. Joseph was already there, but go ahead and read.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. So
what happened was, see, Joseph, he died, and then all his brothers died. But when Israel was busy having a whole lot of babies, and had babies all over Egypt. So now you got a Pharaoh that was looking at this. Go ahead and read.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
That means it was way down the line. He didn't know Joseph because Joseph saved Egypt in the whole area, in the whole region, sisters and brothers. But this guy didn't know Joseph. So he was looking at them Israelites. Go ahead and read.
And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
And if that's something that went out there with 70 people, now they done outpopulated the Egyptians. That's what he said. They're more and mightier, didn't they? Boy, that's having some babies, big time. But go ahead and read.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So it's obvious that Israel wanted to get out of the land, and the Egyptians didn't want them to leave. Because apparently they had started to profit from it, but because of these numbers, they said, look, we got to do something about these Hebrew Israelites. Because if we get in the war, these people are going to join with our enemies, and they're going to leave. Go ahead and read.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burden. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Now, that lets you know who built the pyramids, sisters and brothers. Our forefathers did while we was in captivity. But the more they afflict Israel, the more babies we have. You can see it right now. The poorer the family, the more the babies. Look like the richer the family should be more babies because you can feed them. We don't think about feeding them. They're here. Right. They're going to get food. So, okay. So now, so they said, look, it grieved the Egyptians because the children of Israel had them babies. Go ahead, so many. Go ahead and read.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
In other words, they made them serve, made chattel slavery out of Israel, sisters and brothers. I mean, Israel had they had them making bricks, and they got to the point where they tried to make them, told them they had to run all night and get straws and stuff, get their own straws and make bricks to build the pyramids and the other buildings that they was building. because they built great cities. But they still put pressure on them. And they did that, sisters and brothers, and after 430 years, the Lord decided to bring them out of Egypt. So what he did was he sent Moses down there. And Moses is the one that led them out. Let's go into Egyptian, the 12th chapter. I mean, it's Exodus, the 12th chapter. I'm thinking Egypt now. Exodus, the 12th chapter. So after 430 years, he sent Moses down there because first thing is, when Moses was born, they tried to kill Moses because they were killing all the males that was born in the land of Egypt. But Moses' mother put him in a little boat and floated him and put him in the flags of the weed, and I know that was the Nile River. And Pharaoh's daughter came down there, and she saw that Moses, and Moses started to cry, and she adopted him as her own son. That tells you something, don't it? If Moses was adopted by an Egyptian woman, and he passed for an Egyptian, then Moses the Israelite had to be the same color as the Egyptian, didn't he? Especially being that Pharaoh was trying to kill all the young males. So, but in the meantime, Moses grew up, and when he grew up, he wanted to visit his people. He knew who his people were because his mama raised him until he was weaned. And he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, so he looked this way and he looked around, make sure there wasn't nobody seeing him, and he caught the Egyptian, he killed him and buried him in the sand. Next day he goes out, he sees an Israelite beating on the Israelite. So why are you brothers doing this here? The cat was doing the beating, looked at him and said, look, who made you the ruler? Are you going to kill me like you killed the Egyptian? Moses, I got to go. And he had to go because Pharaoh heard about it. Because Israel can't hold a secret at cannon point. So it was Israel that saw him, and he dropped the ball. So in the meantime, the Lord sent Moses down, and the Lord brought a whole lot of plagues on Egypt because Egypt had really mistreated Israel. And we're going to start with the last plague, sisters and brothers, when the Lord killed all the firstborn in Egypt. That's Exodus 12:1. Because the Lord's getting ready to kill the firstborn, and like when he get ready to bring his wrath upon the people, he always mark his people like he's going to do when he get ready to come the second time. Verse 1, go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying,
Go ahead.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Go ahead.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb.
Go ahead.
According to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb.
He said, I want every household to take a lamb according to the size of the family. And let's see what we're going to do with this lamb. Skip down to verse 12. Verse 12 and go ahead.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
He said, now, because I'm going to pass through Egypt this night, and I'm going to kill all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. And what's going to happen? Keep reading. Go ahead.
Both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
See, we're not dealing with the Passover. We're just dealing with what the Lord's going to do. He told him to put the blood over the doorpost. When I see the blood, I'm going to pass over that house. But the main thing we have to write here is that the Lord said he's going to pass through Egypt this night, and he's going to kill the firstborn of everything, from the firstborn of Adam, Pharaoh, down to the poorest man there. He said, because I'm the Lord. Now skip down to verse 29. And he did it. Verse 29. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon. And all the firstborn of cattle.
So he came through about midnight, and he started killing that firstborn of everything. Go ahead and read.
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not an house where there was not one dead.
Go ahead.
And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said.
Now they'd ask him 9 times that he wouldn't go with it, but he couldn't. But Pharaoh couldn't let him go, because God told Moses, you go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go, but he is not going to let you go, because I'm going to harden his heart, because I want to lay my hands on Egypt. That's when you done went too far with God, and he want to lay some hands on you. Sometimes you might want to repent real quick, but he said, no, I got some more whipping on you before I let you repent. Mm-hmm. That's what he did Pharaoh, because he said, I owe Egypt, and he paid Egypt good, because Egypt killed all the young males, as well as worked them like dogs. That's why it said made them serve with rigor. So now, he passed through that, and he killed them all. Now the people of the Pharaoh said, look, get out of here, you and your people. Go ahead and read.
Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Even
Pharaoh started to believe a little bit in Israel's God, didn't he? And bless me also. So it must mean that Moses' blessing meant something, didn't it? Go ahead and read.
And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men.
They wanted to get rid of them and skip trying to keep them now. They wanted them out the land. So skip down to verse 37. Verse 37. And go ahead.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children.
Boy, they had grown, didn't they? Went out now, 70 souls, now it was 600,000. That's talking about the men, not counting the children and the women. I mean, they had a lot of babies, didn't they? Go ahead and read.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them.
And not only did the Israelites go, also you had people of other nationalities went with them too. That's why I call them mixed multitude. Go ahead and read.
And flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt.
Now that's how you come up with unleavened bread. But anyway, they had a mixed multitude that come out of them, sisters and brothers. That means you might have had some Egyptians in there. You had some Gentiles. You had everything down in Egypt, sisters and brothers. Because Egypt was a great civilization at that time. But when they saw the power of God, they wanted to go with the people of God. It's going to be the same day. But skip down to verse 51. Verse 51 and go ahead.
And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.
So they was down there for 430 years, sisters and brothers. And on that self-same day, the Lord brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. Didn't leave one. That's what the Lord said he's going to do when he take Israel back the second time. But ain't nobody telling you about this because ain't nobody interested in it. Not even you. But it's going to happen, sisters and brothers. Now let's go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Now Israel then come out of captivity. Now when the Lord got them in the wilderness, the Lord going to lay down some rules now. Now I got you out of bondage. But you can't do anything you want to do. You're going to have to serve me. If you don't, then I'm going to do something to you. That's the way the Lord operates, sister and brother. You tell me, well, I'm my own man, I'm my own woman. That's the biggest lie you ever told. You going to belong to God or you going to belong to Satan? It's all that simple. So now God brought you out. Now I ain't going to lay down some rules. We're going to start at 28 and 1. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. Okay, read it.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day,
go ahead,
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now look what it said. Now if you will hearken to me and do all the commandments that I give you this day, I'm going to set you on high above all the nations of the earth. Sister and brother, that's a big position, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Look at where we are now and roll that around in your mind. Above all the nations of the earth. Go ahead.
And all these blessings shall come on thee.
Go ahead.
And overtake thee.
Go ahead.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now, all these blessings is predicated on if you listen. Because God ain't no unconditional lover like you've been told. You know, he loved me unconditional. That's the biggest lie. You don't even love your children unconditional. They start acting bad and crazy all the time and never obey. You're going to stop loving them. That's just the way it is. You don't want to admit it, but that's the way it is. Go ahead and read.
Blessed shall thou be in the city.
Blessed shall you be in the city.
And blessed shall thou be in the field.
Now, no matter where you find yourself, you're going to be blessed. Skip down to verse 11 and go ahead.
And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods.
Go ahead.
In the fruit of thy body.
Go ahead.
And in the fruit of thy cattle. And in the fruit of thy ground.
Go ahead.
In the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
I mean, he's going to bless you in everything. Your crops and your children, your cattle, everything. Go ahead and read.
The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
Can you even think about that? Who can we lend to? He didn't say lend to just people. He said lend to many nations. And you ain't going to have to borrow from nobody. Look, we live on credit. And it's all from some other nation. He have effectively changed places.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
And you're going to be the head of everything, and you ain't going to be the tail of nothing. Go ahead and read.
And thou shalt be above only.
Boy, that's a big statement there. Every time I see that, I marvel at it. Thou shalt be above only. No matter where you go, whatever you get involved in, when you show up, you are the automatic boss. That is a big statement there, above only. I can't even wrap my mind around that.
Right.
Not from the position we are right now. Right. But go ahead and read.
And thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them.
He letting you know that they ain't going to change. The commandments I made you, that I gave you this day, no matter what day you find yourself, you got to listen and obey them. Skip down to verse 15 and go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Now this is the other shoe dropping now. Now if you will not hearken, listen to me, go ahead and read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if you don't keep my commandments, then all these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. That means you can't run away from them. They're always going to run faster than you. Go ahead and read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Go ahead.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
If you're in the city, you're cursed. You're in the country, you cursed. You're in the big city, you cursed. People leave in the South. Well, I'm going to go up there where everybody's equal. Boy, did you get a big surprise when you come up here? Go ahead and read.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
So he done turned everything around on you, haven't he? I mean, he done flipped the whole script. Skip down to verse 25. 25 and go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them.
Go ahead.
And flee 7 ways before them. And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
And then you're going to migrate. You're going to go out one way against your enemies, and he's going to smite you and scatter you, and you're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. You have an Hebrew Israelite in every kingdom on this planet, sister and brother. Yeah. I even found some when I was in Vietnam. I found them.
Yeah.
And we kind of felt some kinship too. Look at one another. I even ate some of that fish that you throw up when you smell. But I ate with my brothers. Skip down to verse 32 and go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Go ahead.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
So you're going to have children, but they're going to be sold. Somebody else going to have them. And you be looking at you longing all day long, and you can't do nothing about it because you don't have no power. I don't know, young people never saw this movie, Roots. But I look at that, and this is the first thing when I saw about this girl, the guy named his daughter Kizzy, which means stay put. Her boyfriend rebelled. She sided with her boyfriend. Her friend, which was a white girl, told her daddy he sold her, and her daddy, Kunta Kinte, all he could do was watch his daughter being taken. He couldn't do nothing about it. Just like the book says, sisters and brothers. So I've seen this prophecy develop. That's why I know we fell under the curse. Skip down to verse 36 and go ahead.
The Lord shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Go ahead.
And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
Now we have some royal seeds here, because we have 3 tribes over here among the Gentiles: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Judah was the ruling tribe. That's where royalty come through Judah. So we know we got some people in here that come out of the royal seed. Just like Daniel's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which is named Azariah, what's that, Ananias, what's it? Azariah, Mishael, and Hananiah. They was royal seed. So somebody's that should have been king if they had stayed in the land, now you're among other people. And you're serving other gods, woods and stone. We don't know nothing about the God of Easter and the God of Christmas. We don't know nothing about that God that's going to steal you off into heaven. Go ahead and read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Astonishment, a proverb. This is something people are always astonished at the way you behave and your condition. And they give you a byword as a little bitty pet name. You know what some of them are. You understand? Among all the nations which you're among, go ahead and read.
That was in the 37.
Let's skip down then to verse 41 and go ahead.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Go ahead.
For they shall go into captivity.
You can't enjoy them because they're going to go into captivity. Let's pick it up slavery and bring it on down, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Didn't the Lord say that there was a mixed multitude when we came out of Egypt? So the stranger, he didn't even name the stranger. Whoever he was, he going to come up very high and you going to come down very low. If you don't think that even today, look in your neighborhood and see who your merchants are. Who you buying your cars from, who you buy your home from, who you buy your groceries from. Who deals with your nails, who you buy your wigs and your weave from. Then you'll get the picture. Go ahead and read. What verse?
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Go ahead.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
This whole thing is flipped, ain't it? Instead of you being the financier, somebody else is. Who? The stranger that's among you. I mean, whoever he is, he's above you. Go ahead and read.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
He said they're going to catch up with you, they're going to overtake you, they're going to pursue you. So no matter where you go, it's going to happen like that. We're going to move out in the nice suburbs, nice manicured houses. All of a sudden, them curses show up there. All of a sudden, your neighborhood ain't so good no more. Now you got gangster folk. Look at these southern, like this place around here, like Riverdale and Dalton, and they got a couple of them in the community that we flock to. All of a sudden, we got killing and stealing there.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the Lord said these curses are going to follow you. You walk in, don't get too relaxed, because here come the curse next. Sit down.
Right.
Well, I'm just trying to get away from the little gangbangers in Chicago. You forgot you brought one of them. He's sitting in your living room looking at your TV. You cannot escape you, because the curse is stuck to you. Go ahead and read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
For a sign and for a wonder. They wondering who you are, but a sign identifies, don't it? I tell people all the time, if you want to know who Israel is in this hemisphere, just find out who was brought here as slaves. Because the Lord said he's going to bring you here. Mm-hmm. It's a sign. Can nobody else make that claim? In this whole hemisphere. Well, I come from Jamaica. You was a slave. I come from Trinidad. You was a slave. I come from the nice Virgin Islands. You was all slaves. And you still serving. You're doing all good so the rest of the nation can come down and have a good time in the Virgin Islands. Look at all this nice. Who own it? Not you.
Right.
Because you was brought here to be punished if you didn't obey the Lord's commandments. What verse are we?
That was the end of 46.
Now skip down to 64, verse 64, and go ahead.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And that's what you're going to do. He's going to scatter you, and you're going to serve pagan gods. Skip down to verse 66, and go ahead.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
Look, sisters and brothers, who is the most likely to get killed in this hemisphere? We are. So many ways. Other people killing you. Your own children killing you. And your life is in the balance at all times, sisters and brothers. The Lord called this. Mm-hmm. People ask me, why are youngsters so bad? Why do the police shoot us? And why they do? It's because the Lord told you this was going to happen. The hand of the Lord is operating here. Skip now to verse 68 and go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now look, the Lord already told you ain't going to go back down in Egypt. Right. We had some people trying after Nebuchadnezzar. They run down in Egypt. God sent Nebuchadnezzar down there and knocked Egypt off and got him out of there. Yeah. Because he said, you ain't going. So Egypt to us is a house of bondage. This is what I understand about a lot of our Hebrew brothers here. A lot of them talk about Egyptology and the Egyptian this and look, that was your first slaver. And he did you worse than the Gentile. He tried to wipe out the whole nation by killing all the males. Yeah. And now you're going to suck up to him? Come on. That is the epitome of being uninformed. That's why you need to know who you are and how you got here. If you don't know nothing else, you're the only one in this hemisphere. I don't care what part of it, from Panama to whatever. But go ahead, finish that verse.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And ain't nobody going to buy you out of it. So now, you are the descendants of people that were sold in slavery. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Who else in this hemisphere can make that claim? Nobody else. Now, we got a brother, Hebrew brothers running around, they done made everybody Israelite. You got a Puerto Rican, he's an Israelite. You got the Native American, he's an Israelite. When they get through naming them, I said, well, how did the Puerto Rican get here? Did he come as a slave? No. Did the American Indian come as? No. Then you didn't read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter where it says shall be a sign and a wonder. It ain't no hard thing to figure out who Israel is in this hemisphere. All you got to do is read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Right. That is, if the curses come upon us. Now let's see what came upon us, the blessing of the curse. You already know, don't you? Because somebody in here got somebody's son or daughters in jail in this very room here. Because the Lord said you're going to be here away in prison houses. But then that's a black history lesson. But I had to give you a little background. So let's see who came up, whether we're under the curse or the blessing. Let's go into Daniel, the 9th chapter. Daniel chapter 9. So you don't have to wonder about nothing, sisters and brothers. You don't have to interpret. You don't have to use I believe. All you got to do is read the book. It's going to tell it all. It's going to tell it all. That's why I can understand my brothers, other brothers want to make everybody Israel. Hey, we did the sinning. We have taken the beat. Therefore, I don't want nobody to get in on my blessing once I done got my beat. I ain't bringing nobody with me but Israel. Even though it's going to be a mixed multitude.
Right.
Daniel 9, and we're going to start reading at verse 11. 9 and 11. Go ahead.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
Go ahead.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
Oh, so it's poured upon us. Go ahead.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Didn't Moses write Deuteronomy? Yeah. This is the curse. It's poured upon us. Even the oath that's written, because we have sinned. Go ahead and read.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us.
Ain't that something? When he bring it to pass, that's a confirmation. Ain't we here? One we brought here, wasn't we slow as cattle? That's confirmation of what Moses wrote. Go ahead and read.
And against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven hath not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem.
Look around. So under the whole heaven. It's not just here, under the whole heaven. But then all you got to do is look at this hemisphere. Like a guy told me one time, you know, they don't have the crime in the white neighborhood that they got in the black neighborhood. I said, you ever living in the white neighborhood? No. I said, then how can you make that statement? So you don't have to worry about the world. You live in this hemisphere. Has anybody else been brought here slave? Have anybody else been sold as slavery?
No.
Have anybody else had to go through the things we had to go through? It speaks for itself, don't it? That's why it says here, under the whole heaven have not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. We are unique in everything, even when it comes to punishment, sisters and brothers. But then, people say the Lord, the Lord didn't cast the Jews away. Did the Lord cast the Jews away? I don't think so. Even the Apostle Paul, the apostle to the Gentiles, had to tell them that. Yes, let's go into Romans, the 11th chapter. See, but already, sisters and brothers, you get the one that says that they are Jews now. All you got to ask him, when did you go into slavery? Who sold you? That's what I want to know. You understand? Who took your children away and you couldn't do nothing but look? And had no might in your hand to do nothing about it. But people don't like to ask questions because you might find out the truth. And I ain't never seen a people that hate the truth more than we hate it. Romans 11 and verse 1. This is what the people said, well, the Lord didn't cast the Jews away. When I was coming along, it was real prevalent. The preachers used to say it a lot. See, the Lord cast the Jews away. The church got it now. Who is the church? Hang around here, you're going to find out who that is. 11 and 1. Go ahead and read.
I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Go ahead.
God forbid. For I also am an Israelite.
Go ahead.
Of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Look, Paul had to tell these Gentiles, have he cast away his people? Who do you think teaching you? An Israelite. People don't you know that most people don't know that the apostles, every one of them were Hebrew Israelites? They don't know that Jesus had to come in the flesh as a Hebrew Israelite. You know why? Because the Lord said that Israel is his priest. Couldn't get nobody else. So Paul letting these Gentiles know, y'all don't boast. Look, God ain't cast us away. If it was, I wouldn't be teaching you. Who the teacher here? Go ahead and read.
God had not cast away his people which he foreknew.
Go ahead.
What ye not what the scripture saith of Elias?
So don't you know what the scripture said of Elijah? Go ahead and read.
How he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying,
Go ahead.
Lord, they have killed thy prophets
Go ahead.
And dig down thine altar.
Uh-huh.
And I am left alone, and they seek my life.
Look, that's what Elijah said, because he jumped up and killed 400 of Jezebel's prophets. People think Jezebel was a street rocker. No, Jezebel was a priestess, a woman minister. Mm-hmm. So when he killed 400 of the prophets, she sent him a note. Them prophets you killed, yeah, this time tomorrow evening you're going to be where they are. The guy panicked and he ran. This is the guy that called down fire and ate up 2 groups of captains and 8 soldiers. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that called for a drought and it happened. Mm-hmm. This is Elijah. This cat could smite water with his coat and it would dry up and he can walk over dry shod. And you mean you're going to get a note from a woman? You're going to panic and run? That's what he did, so God retired him. He didn't die out of office. God retired him. Go ahead and read.
Verse 4. But what saith the answer of God unto him?
Because that's what he said. Lord, they done kill your prophets. They done dug down your altars. And I'm the only one that's left. But now they're trying to kill me. So this is God's answer. So what said the answer of God unto him? Go ahead and read.
I have reserved to myself 7,000 men.
Go ahead.
Who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
I have 7,000. Not that repented. That ain't never bowed the knee to Baal. Go ahead and read.
Even so then, at this present time also, there's a remnant according to the election of grace.
He said, look, I even got some around, still got a remnant. Even in this generation, sisters and brothers, they don't bow the knee to Baal. In other words, don't deal with paganism. Even in this generation, sisters and brothers. Skip down to verse 7 and read it.
What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for.
Go ahead.
But the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
So now, because the rest don't want to see, other scriptures let you know they don't want to see. But they always have somebody with their spiritual eyes on that know what's going on, know who they are, know what they was chosen, that they are chosen, and they know what they was chosen to do. Those are people like us, sisters and brothers. Our spiritual eyes are on. According to the election of grace, sisters and brothers. Skip down to verse 25. And look what it says here. Go ahead and read.
For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery.
He's telling these Gentiles, he said, I don't want y'all to be ignorant of this mystery. Go ahead and read.
Lest ye should be wise in your own conceits.
Unless you were wise, you're thinking that you're wiser than you really are. Go ahead and read.
That blindness in part is happened to Israel.
Uh-huh.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
That blindness is in part. Look, blindness in part, that means you got part of them blind, but you got some that see, don't you? Mm-hmm. And how long is this going to come? Until the times of the Gentiles is fulfilled, sisters and brothers. When is the Gentiles' time going to be fulfilled? It's when the Lord split that sky and come down and take care of Magog and the EU at the same time. Those are Gentiles. Mm-hmm. Russia and all the Europeans, east and west. Mm-hmm. So until that time comes, thank God that you are among the blessed because you have your eyes on.
That's right. Praise the Lord.
The rest of the world don't even see this. But he said, I want you to know, blindness in part has happened to Israel. And I'm going to show you where he speaks about this blindness. Let's go into Isaiah, the 42nd chapter. Isaiah 42. And I mean, will go up against you when you read this book. I ain't no Israelite, I'm a Gentile. You can't be a Gentile. Even they won't let you be a Gentile. Move into the neighborhood, they're going to write a slogan on your garage and burn your house down. Isaiah 42, because the Lord said blind is in part, and God knows people blind too. 42 and verse 18. 42 and 18. Okay, go ahead.
Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see.
He ain't talking about spiritual deaf and spiritual blindness. Otherwise, the Lord ain't going to tell a blind man and a man that can't hear and see. He just healed him. But he's talking spiritual here. Go ahead and read.
Who is blind but my messenger, my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent?
Who is blind as my servant and deaf as my messenger that I have sent? Because he sent Israel to the nations. Go ahead and read.
Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant?
Go ahead.
Seeing many things, but thou observest not.
Go ahead.
Opening the ears, but he heareth not.
He said, look, I'm showing you a whole lot of things, but you don't even know what you're looking at because you don't bother to seek me. I'm telling you and teaching you many things, but you ain't hearing nothing. He said, I'm going to put something in front of you, and you're not even going to see that and see who you are. Skip down to verse 22. Verse 22, and go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
He said, look, this is a people robbed and spoiled.
They are all of them snared in holes.
They're snared in holes.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Ain't that something? So you're robbed and spoiled. Everybody come to your community, and they use you, they beat, they get your money, they cheat you, they do everything else, sell you the bad meat. And you buy it. And you hid away in prison houses. I remember before they changed this Joliet down there, because we have a prison ministry, but I used to go a lot too. But things change. But I remember walking up on that prison of Joliet, and I saw that great big old concrete wall. I didn't see nobody in it. And the first thing come in my mind was, hid away in prison house, because when we went through the door, Israel, I'm telling you, was all over the place. Every now and then you see somebody else, but you was the main body. I thought about this, hid away in prison houses. And look what it says here. Go ahead and read.
They are for a prey, and none deliver it.
Anybody use you, beat you out, and don't nobody deliver you. You're a prey. Go ahead and read.
For a spoil, and none says restore.
And don't nobody, you can go, I've been cheated. That big deal. That's your problem. Go ahead and read.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
So he said, who among you will hear what Isaiah is saying? Who will see this in the future? That's the time to come. We are in the time to come now. Who among us going to pay some attention to this? Because if you pay some attention to it, then you know the name Jew couldn't fit the people that's wearing it, couldn't it?
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robber?
Go ahead.
Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned?
No. That let us know who, then that killed all reason for you to hate anybody else. Because who gave us to the spoil and the robbers? Your God. They didn't take us by force of arm or by reason of strength. They took us by reason of the curse. That's why you were here. Go ahead and read.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
And still don't want to keep the law. Oh man, do nobody keep that old commandment. You can't keep them old commandments. I marvel at that. You are a good Christian, and you can't abstain from killing, stealing, committing adultery, lying on your neighbor. You can't abstain from that. You can't honor one day that the Lord called the Sabbath, and he done gave you 6 to do whatever you want. He told you to honor your mother and your father, not to covet what your neighbor has. That should be easy for a good Christian, right? But we don't hear this. You go in the average Sunday church and say you got to keep the commandments. It's just like you told the preacher that his mama wear combat boots and smoke cigars. They're going to get you out of there with the quickness. But go ahead and read.
Therefore he has poured upon him the fury of his anger.
The Lord has done this. Go ahead and read.
And the strength of battle.
Go ahead.
And it had set him on fire round about.
Go ahead.
Yet he knew not. And it burned him. Yet he laid it not to heart.
So the Lord either did everything to you. Any tragedy that can happen to a people happen to us in abundance. And we haven't thought one time, why is this happening to us? Why is it that my school have to have metal detectors? Why? How come our business don't match the other businesses? Why is it that our children are a real minority when they come to going to universities, but a majority in penal institution. Ain't nobody asked the question, sister and brother. We have not laid it to heart. How can one people be destroyed in so many different ways unless it came from a divine being? It's all that simple. But we have not asked the question. And now, who are you? You're a Negro. Oh, I forgot. You're black. I forgot. African American. Is that the last of it? But it used to be Afro American. We didn't forgot that. Why is it that you can't remember who you are?
Thank you for tuning in to today's lesson. If you are in the Chicagoland area, we welcome you to join our church community every Saturday at 12 noon Central. We are located at 520 West 138th Street in Riverdale, Illinois. Our ministry is made possible by your donations. To make a donation or to view all of our locations across the world, please visit our website at www.theisraelofgod.com.